To Celebrity Radio, it's Alex Belfield talking to some of the country's biggest stars and some of my favourite people, and we've got one for you today, the star of Aladdin at the Grand Theatre in York, which opens on the 9th of December through January 1st, 2017, is Paul Sinha, the star of The Chase, and I'm delighted to say he joins us on the phone now. How are you, Paul?
I'm very well, thank you.
It is amazing, isn't it? People don't realise that you're actually a proper comedian.
It's weird. I mean, until you get on telly, sometimes as a professional, you don't seem to exist in the bigger world out there. But I've been doing comedy for nearly 20 years now. Well, professionally for about 15, 16 years. I've travelled the world. I'm a regular at all the big comedy clubs in the country, in particular the Comedy Store. I've done 3 national tours, and yet people still say to me, I had no idea. I've even done the Palladium this year, on the TV show, and people still say to me, I had no idea you do comedy. And yet every time I walk out on The Chase, Bradley says it's the comedian Paul Sinha. So it's weird what people take in and what they don't.
I'm always intimidated by brain boxers, and you're one of the best. I mean, it must be a compliment in one way, the fact that you're on that show as a genius, and at the second time, being a smart ass has got to be exhausting because you've got to keep it up, haven't you?
I'm not a smart ass and I'm not a genius. I'm just a guy who's really, really into quizzing.
Right.
It's a niche hobby, and I just spend a lot of my life learning facts, learning about the world, learning lists of stuff. It's a hobby. I wanted to be a chess grandmaster or a professional cricketer, but I wasn't good enough at either. And so I'm just really pleased in my mid-40s to find something that I can be one of the best in the country, and actually one of the better ones in the world as.
I guess learning a script in pantomime is easy for you because you must have the type of brain that's able to retain stuff. I struggle with that. Sometimes I meet people in the supermarket and I can't remember who they are, and they're my direct family. It's a skill remembering.
Everybody's brains work in different ways. I'm not good with visuals, so I have the same thing as you. If I see, and I find it difficult to recognise people. In picture quizzes and pub quizzes, I'm no help at all. I'm just sat back going, you sort this out. Whereas I'm good with words. That's my strength.
Right.
And so learning a script hasn't been difficult because I'm good at connecting words and remembering which ones go where and why. And so that's a strength of mine, which is why I'm quite good at learning lists of facts, because lists of facts are words, and that is really where the strength of my brain lies. But it's just different for just everybody's brain works in different ways, and I know quizzes who are amazing at recognising faces, but I'm good at remembering names.
Interesting.
Everyone's brain works in a different way, but luckily my brain works in a way that has made it quite easy for me to learn the script.
Were you surprised by the success of The Chase? It is remarkable how that has taken off, and it's now clipped and it goes viral and all that stuff. I mean, it's partly down to Bradley, but the format is very clever, isn't it? Pitting one man against one man, or woman against one woman, or vice versa, and just seeing who comes out on top is fascinating, infinitely.
Well, I think the show has a very interesting history, because I came in Series 4, and the first 3 series were very much, it's a quiz show. It's now a quiz show and an entertainment show. Yeah. And it never forgets to be both. Yes, we have really hard questions about 17th century philosophers, but we also have a laugh.
Yeah.
And I think that is the key. For me, the turning point, well, there are 2 turning points of the show. The first was the first time that somebody took a negative offer to get back. And people were like, oh my God. And people are still fascinated by the idea of people being duplicitous on telly, even though that's kind of how telly works. And secondly was the clip that went viral of Bradley corpsing about a question about a German skier called Fanny Schmeller. And it brought a whole new audience. And so, you know, we are a good quiz show, and as you said, the format is good, and when it's at its best, and we're chasing down 18 to 20, and with 10 seconds to go, we've got 2 questions to get right, it's really thrilling stuff. But there's a lot of laughs to be had all through it, and I think that's where the show has really changed.
Have you heard Bradley's new CD? It's a bit peculiar.
I shall not pass comment on Bradley's. I believe there's a phrase, you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So,
what's he thinking?
Well, I just think we're in a competition with Pointless, which means perhaps he's in a competition with Alexander Armstrong. And as Alexander Armstrong continues to produce albums, perhaps Bradley's thinking, well, I'll have a bit of that myself. I don't know. I don't know. Not many things in life surprise me. When I heard that Bradley had produced an album, this one took me aback. That's not to say that he's not a good singer. He's a proper triple threat.
Yes, he is.
Which is why he's so in demand in Panto season. I mean, he's one of the big Panto stars around.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah.
And he's a proper triple threat. But I can't, for the life of me, imagine the mentality of someone that would buy his album for Christmas.
Anyway, we'll move on from that. Paul, it's great talking to you, and especially at this time of year, we look around and we see the biggest stars in show business turning up in Panto. I wonder when the phone call came in, what your reaction was, because this isn't a natural fit, is it, to be wearing Abanazar's costume and turning up at York for Aladdin?
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you. When the phone call came in, my answer was no. And the reason my answer was no is we get booked up for comedy quite far in advance now. And I already had plenty of work in December. And the idea of ditching all those gigs to do something that I'd never done before didn't fill me with a great thrill. But lucky enough, I was recording the Chase that week. So I had quite a long chat with Bradley about it. Who is, of course, king of the format and an absolute veteran.
Yeah.
And he insisted that I should go for it as a new challenge, to take yourself out of the comfort zone. Because I could be earning a decent wage doing what I do every December, standing around in front of drunk Christmas parties, reciting my jokes by rote. Or I could do something that takes me completely out of my comfort zone. And I decided to go for it. I didn't realise that I'd only have a one-day Christmas when I decided when I agreed to go for it. But so far, so good. I'm not. Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a natural fit. But then the other thing I thought is Mark Lebet's been Abanazar, the Beast.
Right.
He's been Abanazar in Rotherham, and if he can do it, I can do it. it's really the other thing I thought. And actually, I was initially offered the Genie. And then they changed their mind and offered me Abanazar, and I was like, I'm not sure I want a really big part for my first Panto. But now I'm absolutely delighted. Now having been through a week's rehearsals, I'm absolutely delighted that I've got one of the bigger roles, because you just feel more part of it.
It's extraordinary. And let's not disparage Panto for 1 second, because it's one of my favourite things. It's on at the Palladium in London, which speaks volumes. That must be thrilling, to have the live band, to have an all-star cast, and to be part of that ensemble where the pressure's not on you, because stand-up comedy is terrifying, isn't it?
Well, stand-up comedy is terrifying. This will be equally terrifying. I have the opening monologue of the whole thing. Every day I'm the first person on stage.
Right.
And that is going to be big pressure. So I think this is probably going to be more terrifying. But once I start shouting at the children, oh yes I am, and they start shouting about, oh no you're not, I'm going to really get into it, I think. But that first opening monologue is just like, and I've got to... And funnily enough, in the opening monologue, I list all the planets one by one, and so I bring a bit of my quiz knowledge into the opening monologue, which will probably help me relax. But I'm just thinking, it'll just be my luck that in the opening monologue I'll forget what the planets are in order as the professional quizzer.
Do you have to speak in rhyme, or do you do yours just as a script? Because often they do that, don't they, where everything has to sort of flow.
It's a little bit of both. There was a couple of bits that have been written as rhymes. But there's a couple of bits where some of the words have accidentally rhymed with each other that have turned into rhyme,
okay,
just to improve the rhythm of the dialogue. So it's all good fun. I mean, it's been a great first week, and meeting performers who I've seen on the telly, but who've all lived very, very different lives and have a very, very different background from me. Fraser Hines, the TV veteran of Doctor Who and Emmerdale. Suzanne Shaw, who's been performing all her life.
Great voice,
but has been just a natural performer who's been performing all of her life. And then Carl Tracy, who's perhaps the least known of the main cast, but has got the biggest role of Aladdin. And he's Timberlake-esque in his singing and dancing.
Wow.
he's going to break a few hearts.
And those people are the drive of the show as well. I mean, their energy is incredible. I'm always amazed by those juvenile leads, as they call them, that drive those pantos. Amazing.
Yeah, well, he's 30, but he looks about 20. Damn him.
Listen, it's been lovely talking to you. I'd love to talk to you again in detail about your life and career, because it's been extraordinary, but we wish you well with the pantomime. Aladdin is on at the Grand Theatre in York from December the 9th through January the 1st. Keep on keeping on the chase, because we love that. And as you say, Bradley has to be one of our greatest stars ever. And we love that programme very much, and we wish you all the best. Paul Sinha, great to talk to you.
Thank you very much.